Hello, we meet again on QPVN News. I'm Trong Nguyễn and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Central Military Commission hosts the 10th conference in Hanoi. U.S. Navy Coast Guard ships visit Thanh Hoa province. Dialogue held to promote circular economy in agriculture. The Central Military Commission convened its 10th conference in Hanoi on July the 8th to discuss and evaluate military and defense tasks in the first half of 2024 and roll out key tasks for the second half. Attending the conference were State President Do Lâm, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, and permanent member of the Party Central Committee Secretariat Lương Cường. General Phan Văn Giang, Defense Minister, chaired the event. At the conference, delegates discussed and provided feedbacks on the draft report on military and defense work for the first 6 months of 2024 and outlined tasks for the latter half of the year. The Central Military Commission evaluated that, in the first half of 2024, under the leadership of the party, state, and directly the Politburo and Secretariat, the Central Military Commission, the Ministry of National Defense, and military leaders at all levels completed 13 task groups on schedule, with many tasks excellently accomplished and some breakthroughs. Addressing the conference, permanent member of the Party Central Committee Secretariat Lương Cường highly appraised the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense for adhering to principles, closely following practical developments, effectively implement strategic breakthroughs, and comprehensive tasks set out at the beginning of the year.
Nắm chắc cái tình hình.
Firmly grasping situations and properly making advice when situations occur are the most important in both traditional and non-traditional security. It is also crucial to further lead and direct the implementation of 3 breakthroughs, including adjusting force organization according to Resolution No. 5 on building a military until 2021-2030. The conference assessed that the whole military has many solutions to build a clean and strong military party organization, thoroughly grasped the Central Military Commission's resolutions, organized a preliminary review of 3 years of implementing Conclusion No. 1 of the Politburo, 2 years of implementing Resolution No. 847 of the Central Military Commission, honoring many advanced examples contributing to spreading the qualities of alcohol soldiers. Agencies and units proactively fulfill the task of political education, management, ideological orientation, mass mobilization, social insurance, health insurance, mass organizations, and other activities, such as visiting, giving gifts, building houses, taking care of Vietnamese heroic mothers, repairing and embellishing modern cemeteries with an amount of over $76.7 million. At the conference presided by General Phan Văn Giang, Minister of National Defense, full text of General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng speech was informed. In details, the General Secretary highly appreciated the achievements made by the whole military under the leadership of the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense in the first 6 months of this year. In his speech sent to the conference, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng emphasized that to successfully perform the mission in the last 6 months of 2024, the Central Military Commission needs to uphold the spirit of 5 determinations and 5 initiatives. General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng urged the Central Military Commission to successfully complete the goals, tasks, and solutions set out in the resolution of the 13th Party Congress and the 11th Party Congress in the military. The Central Military Commission was required to review the task implementation while continuing to deploy military defense missions, well perform the training and combat readiness missions, victoriously cope with traditional and non-traditional security challenges, improve the quality of training and exercises to meet the combat requirements in modern warfare, and promote research on defense and military and Vietnamese military art in the new situation. General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng requested the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense to be determined to direct the reorganization of the military in the period of 2021-2030 and the following years towards being highly skilled, compact, and strong. Regarding the 5 initiatives, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng requested the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense to proactively propose measures to handle arising situations, promptly grasp situations, and come up with solutions to successfully deal with any situations, so as not to let conflicts and disputes develop into armed conflicts or war. He also laid emphasis on the protection of the national sovereignty over borders, sea and islands, and the country's unity and territorial integrity. The launch of projects and plans for socio-economic development and defense security maintenance for key regions and areas, especially the project on combining economic development with the defense security in protecting national sovereignty of the sea and islands. In addition, he urged the good preparation for the 12th National Party Congress in the military leading up to the 14th Party Congress in both documents and key personnel. In particular, it is necessary to focus on building contingents of cadres at all levels who are qualified enough to undertake higher positions at the Central Party Commission's bodies. Addressing the Central Military Commission's 10th conference, the State President Do Lâm and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính acknowledged and praised the recent outstanding achievements and results by the Central Military Commission, the Ministry of National Defense, while directing many important contents. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính requested the Central Military Commission to maintain its proactiveness and keenness, improving the capacity of researching, forecasting, and properly evaluating situations, thus advising the party and state on planning military and defense policies and strategies, meeting the task of national defense in both in the immediate and long terms. The leaders asked the Central Military Commission to strengthen strategic trust in external relations affairs while promoting digital transformation throughout the military, pioneering in the creative innovation. It is necessary to review the Ministry of National Defense goals, which were determined at the 13th National Party Congress, so that we can complete the goals. The Ministry of National Defense should concentrate on combat readiness missions with the strongest spirit, ready for all missions and stay active in all situations. Highly appreciating the result of task performance by the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense, State President Do Lâm urged the Ministry of National Defense to focus on strengthening defense potential, building the whole people defense associated with people's security, and consolidating the strong posture of the people's heart. At the same time, the Ministry of National Defense needs to implement specific solutions to build solid defensive areas at all levels, while coordinating and effectively implementing the resolution of the 8th Central Committee Plenum of the 13th tenor on the strategy for fatherland protection in the new situation. Following directions by Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng on the spirit of 5 determinations and 5 initiatives, the military needs to concretize and focus on building the party organization. The Ministry of National Defense needs to drastically implement Resolution Number 5 on building an elite, compact, and strong military in the spirit of the resolution of the Communist Party's 13th Congress for the benefit of the fatherland and the people. President Do Lâm requested the Central Military Commission to focus on leading the organization of party congresses at all levels in the military thoughtfully in accordance with regulations towards the 14th Party Congress. He asked the Ministry of National Defense to actively protect the party's ideological foundation and seriously realize the Politburo's conclusions on international integration and defense foreign affairs, promoting international cooperation, settling war legacy, and paying attention to military and home front policies to attract talents, enhancing the military spirit of self-reliance and self-resilience. At the conference, General Phan Văn Giang spoke and received instructions of the party and state leaders, as well as opinions of the central agencies. He thoroughly grasped a number of key tasks of the Central Military Commission in the coming time. The U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet flagship USS Blue Ridge and U.S. Coast Guard cutter Wedge docked at Cam Ranh International Port on July the 8th, starting a 5-day visit to Khánh Hòa Province. Leaders of Naval Region 4, the Vietnam People's Navy, Coast Guard Region 3, and representatives of Khánh Hòa Province and other Vietnamese agencies held a welcome ceremony for the visiting U.S. crews. During the visit, the commander of the 7th Fleet under the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command and the ship commanding staff will pay a courtesy visit on the leaders of Khenghua Provincial People's Committee and the Navy, participate in sports exchanges with officers and soldiers of Naval Region 4 and Coast Guard Region 3. The officers and crew members will participate in professional expertise exchange with units of the Vietnamese Ministry of National Defense and community activities. The visit contributes to maintaining friendly relations and the comprehensive strategic partnership for peace, cooperation, and sustainable development between Vietnam and the U.S. Coming up next, dialogue held to promote circular economy in agriculture. UNESCO expert assess dossier seeking global status for Lak Son Geopark. On July the 8th, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the UNDP in Vietnam co-chaired a high-level policy dialogue on promoting international cooperation and sectoral collaboration for circular agriculture. The dialogue aims to raise awareness among stakeholders about the role of circular economy in development goals in agriculture. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development affirms that developing a circular economy in agriculture is not only an inevitable trend, but also a solution to a sustainable and effective agricultural development to fulfill international commitments and implement national tasks on green and sustainable development. Meeting the requirements of the sustainable development and green economic development, circular economy is an important direction for Vietnamese goods to adapt to new requirements in export markets. We must seek how to create economic motivation for businesses and workers to participate in and enjoy benefits from the circular economy. Experts assess there are hundreds of millions of tons of agricultural byproducts created each year in Vietnam. This is a huge resource for circular agriculture. We have about 160 million tons of byproducts. This is a huge source that we can fully take advantage of to minimize negative impacts on the environment and create new economic values, create new jobs, new landscapes for people. This dialogue also shares good practice models on circular economy, orienting new agricultural industries and markets for circular economic development. A delegation of experts from UNESCO made a field trip to Lak Son Province from July the 6th to the 10th for on-site assessment of the province dossier seeking the recognition of Lak Son Geopark as a global one. The delegation has visited 26 out of the 38 attractions across 4 tourism routes of Lak Son Geopark, covering more than 4,800 square kilometers. Lak Son Geopark is home to 627,000 people. Lak Son Province is striving to develop the geopark to meet the criteria for recognition as a global geopark, thus conserving and promoting heritage values of geology, culture, history, archaeology, and biodiversity, as well as wonderful landscapes of the locality. Cushman & Wakefield, the world's leading real estate services company, has just announced a list of inclusive cities for the Asia-Pacific region, in which Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi are classified in the group of emerging cities. According to the rankings, Hanoi makes the list with affordable rental and transportation cost, a developed education sector, and ability to easily seize investment opportunities that increase urban integration. Ho Chi Minh City is considered a city with a dense and young population, with residents easily accessing medical, financial, and residential services. In addition, Ho Chi Minh City is gradually catching up with other countries in the region with social and economic improvements. Cities are carefully examined in 4 comprehensive aspects, including economy, society, space, and environment. The 35 cities in the report were selected because they own 80% of Grade A office supply in the Asia-Pacific region. According to Cushman & Wakefield, inclusive city will attract more talent and promote innovation, leading to investment and economic growth. The project to revive the Bacxiop lotus species in the West Lake this year has achieved initial encouraging results. To many people, only the lotus of Bacxiop species could bloom with up to 100 colorful petals and have very distinctive fragrance and flavor. Bacxiop lotus, a rare and well-known lotus species of Tây Hồ Land, is known to be used for brewing the best tea in history. bearing the cultural and historical values and serving as a specialty for local tourism development. The beautifully blooming lotus ponds, along with a series of tourist attraction sites along West Lake, will contribute to luring tourists to Hanoi. Lake Lotus is in blooming season, creating a very poetic scene for the upcoming Hanoi Lotus Festival, slated for July the 12th to the 16th. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at qpvn.vn. Well, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.